What is up, my butter biscuits? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Jeffree Star and James Charles because he did throw shade at James Charles on a live. Also, we're going to be talking about him on live on another one that Rich Lux had posted. And I was like, I feel like this day and age, Jeffree Star is low-key going back to kind of like losing it. Like, y'all, he was popping off on his live video and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, you need to calm down over there, sir. I do want to say this before jumping into this video. I feel like a lot of people don't know this about me and a lot of people don't understand. I've said before, in the aspect of like Jeffree Star like popping off, I could definitely relate to that because when I was much younger, and I do mean much younger, like when I was like 17, I would say between like 17 and like 20, y'all, I didn't know how to process my emotions. I didn't know how to like act. So every single time that I was feeling hurt or bothered or irritated or mad, it was just lashing out. Do you know what I mean? But I did learn quickly in life that this is not the appropriate way to act. And I do want to say, in my personal opinion, I feel like it does stem from me being raised by a teen mom. Like, y'all, still till this day, just keeping it real, my mom just doesn't know how to like process her emotions or anything. Like, my mom's not the type of mom that'll be like, I'm so disappointed or I'm so irritated. No, she pops off, like she loses it. And y'all, I just have to say, I feel like that does obviously grow onto you. I feel like us as humans, we either grow to be like our parents or grow to be the opposite of our parents and learn from their mistakes. And I've said before, I feel like Jeffree Star just really doesn't know how to like act sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But I do want to say, when it comes down to the James Charles situation, I feel like it's very lighthearted kind of, but then also at the same time too, I do feel like he looks at James Charles as kind of like his replacement. Y'all, we're gonna go over the numbers of the palettes sold, and I'm just saying it's really crazy to look at Jeffree Star's numbers versus James Charles numbers, because if you guys did not know this, on TikTok it actually shows you how many units are sold. And I do want to say, at the time of me filming this video, there is no Scorpio palette onto the TikTok shop, which I do want to say I feel like is really trippy, because I was counting the numbers and I was like, whoa, y'all, so many people were putting it on blast on TikTok as well as YouTube, Instagram Reels, that James Charles units were selling. However, Jeffree Star's were not. So I think that he did take his palette off of there because it was like making him look some type of way. Because at the time, the last screenshot that I have, he sold 238 palettes, as to where James Charles has sold like, I want to say over 7,000 palettes. So obviously a lot of people are comparing him to Jeffree Star because they did come out on the same day. And I do feel like Jeffree Star is known for being kind of like a top seller when it comes down to beauty products. But in my personal opinion, y'all, I feel like he is low-key losing his touch. Also, just an update on the Scorpio palette. I did order it. I do want to say it is taking forever. I ordered it on Thanksgiving and it is not here yet, so I don't know what's going on with that. If you guys did check out my James Charles palette review, I did say within that video, I was like, y'all, I do have to give kudos where kudos are due. Cooters. I literally said cooters. Where kudos are due, because I do feel like that palette came super fast. Like, y'all, I want to say I ordered it at like maybe like 6 p.m. or something. And then on a Tuesday or whatever day it had came out, and it came 2 days later. Like 2 days later. I was like, that's pretty fast. And here I am waiting for Jeffree Star still. But I did wait to order it, obviously, because y'all know that I was waiting to see if it went on sale. Only because I do feel like I got a little bit spoiled with the James Charles palette. I was like, yo, I got that for 30% off. So I was like, is Jeffree Star going to compete with James Charles over here and like knock it down 20%? But I did wait for his Black Friday sale. And I was like, oh, okay, I got me another mirror because I cracked my mirror. So I ordered me another mirror. I was like, they were only $9. And then I got free shipping also too. Why did I say that so weird? I got like I'm from Scotland or something. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about that within today's video. The review will be coming pretty soon of the Scorpio palette. Sorry I'm taking so long with that. I just feel like, yo, I didn't want to pay shipping. I was like, why is this palette so expensive and I didn't get no shipping on it? And I was like, no, I don't want to pay for shipping. I don't know if you guys are like that. And I understand, because y'all, I have shipped things before when I've done giveaways. Did I tell you guys one time I did a giveaway? And the person had one in like, I don't know, like some part of the Netherlands or somewhere over there, right? It cost me almost $80 to ship something over there. I was like, oh, damn. Like, I understand. Obviously, shipping stuff is really expensive, but I'm just so cheap when it comes down to paying for it, y'all. I really am. Anyways, we're going to be talking about that within today's video. Don't forget, I do have a link for my new podcast. It's linked down below. It's called The Ramble Pod. It'll be tagged down there. Please go show some love over there. I don't have any videos loaded yet. I am waiting until I get to 1,000 subscribers on there, and then I'll be uploading on there, because as you guys know, or if you didn't know, you have to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours before you can get it monetized. So I'm like, you know what, before I even start putting any type of energy into that channel, let me get to 1,000 subscribers over there first, and then I'll work on the 4,000 watch time hours after. But I'm super excited. Me and my homegirl Jelly are going to be carrying on our podcast that we do on this channel over there as soon as that one is at 1,000 subscribers. So go show some love over there. I'd appreciate that, and let's go ahead and get into it. So before we jump into the shade, I do want to talk about the numbers of the palettes. Now, I do want to say this. My screenshot date right here is from November 15th. 15th, okay? So this is when the pellet actually went on sale. It is later in the day because I was waiting and tracking the numbers, and there was only 238 Scorpio pellets sold. Now, at the time of that, there was 4,235 James Charles basic canvas pellets sold. So I wanted to check today just to see how many are being sold now, because I do feel like a lot of people did purchase the James Charles palette. And I do want to say this in case you guys didn't see my review. Honestly, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Like, I thought that the palette was really good. I'm just keeping it so real with you, y'all. I would love to just be like, oh, I hated that palette, because y'all know how I feel about James Charles. But honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. The palette was good. Everything blended out nicely. The shimmers were beautiful. The shimmers actually had this like putty texture, so I didn't get any shimmer fallout. I really did like them. I did my homegirl's makeup because we did take her out for her bachelorette party, and I used one of his shimmers, and she loved it too. Honestly, it looked really nice, and I didn't get no glitter fallout or shimmer fallout. So I do want to say his palette was really good. And I feel like, y'all, if I'm just keeping it real with you guys, the first time that I did the painted review, where I did the review of the paints, I feel like people were eating that video up, because I was like, this shit is horrible. Like, this product is so bad. And I feel like people were really enjoying that, and they expected me to bash the palette. And I'm like, y'all, at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, if this product's good, then okay, it's good. If this product's bad, then all right, I'm gonna go in on it. You know what I mean? And I was like, just keeping it real with you guys. The palette low-key was kind of nice. It did blend out good. It did work good. So I was expecting a lot of people to buy it, and y'all, they did. So as of right now, at the time of me filming this video, there has been 6,822 pallets individually sold, but then also 791 of the actual bundle that comes with the brush set too. So y'all can do the math on that. I'll go ahead and punch in right here just on the calculator, 6,822 times 55, y'all, and that is $375,000 from right there. So y'all, that's just like a little bit of a guesstimate on how much money he's making. Obviously, you do have to factor in the cost of the palette, as well as I don't know what type of commission TikTok is getting. Also, I don't know if he's getting less of a percentage, being that they did offer 30% off the day that it was sold. I think, in my personal opinion, this is just my speculation about the James Charles palette, I think that he worked out a deal with TikTok Shop that they probably paid him a numerous amount of dollars, y'all, or something. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe some type of promotion. I don't know what it is. Because I do think that they wanted to like get him to work with TikTok Shop to help grow TikTok Shop. And I think that it's working out in their benefit, because obviously that's a lot of units sold. Like, y'all, $375,000 right there. Obviously, he's not pocketing all that money, because you do have to factor in the cost of the palette and all that stuff. And like I said, the commissions from TikTok. I don't know how all that stuff works out, but that is a lot of stuff. Another thing that I do want to say is right now, once again, as I did mention in the intro, Jeffree Star's palette is not on there. It's not listed. I have searched high and low for this palette. It is not listed on there. It's not on the Jeffree Star Cosmetics side of the TikTok Shop. It's not underneath Jeffree Star's actual page, underneath products listed / showcase. It's not on there. So I'm like, did he take it off because his numbers weren't growing at all compared to James Charles, and there was so many TikToks being made? Look at James Charles pellets sold, and then look at Jeffree Star's pellets sold, and it was like a huge difference. Do you think that that had something to do with it? Because in my personal opinion, I do feel like there is this type of tension between James Charles and Jeffree Star. I think that Jeffree Star low-key is the type of person to where he's used to being on top and being like the most popular, especially within the beauty community. And I think that now James Charles is kind of taking his space, especially since on TikTok, I want to say James Charles has 38 million followers. So I do feel like maybe there's some type of like rivalry between Jeffree Star, and maybe he did get a little bit upset about that. That's just my little speculation, just my little opinion, because I'm like, why would you take off your palette off of your showcase when you could be selling them? I don't understand that. Because I do want to say this, if he did take it off for the fact of like the numbers being showed, how many units were sold, I think that that's a dumb move, because you never know what video on TikTok is going to go viral. Say, for example, somebody gets on there and does a review, and the algorithm picks that up, and it gets like millions of views, then obviously they're going to have the product linked, and then they're going to sell it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, why would you take it off of there? And I do want to say, actually, I was planning on making this video today, and I have refreshed this multiple times throughout the day, and it is not there still. So I don't know what the reason is, but I do want to say this. I do love the fact that TikTok does post how many units are sold, because y'all know that I'm nosy, and I've wanted to know for years now. I've said this so many times. Once upon a time, James Charles was like, look, at Morphe, the highest selling palette ever is his palette, which is the what is it called? I forgot what his was, like Y'all, I forget the name of James Charles' palette from Morphe, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And then there was a time where Jeffree Star was saying that his palette was the highest sold ever. So I'm like, who has these numbers? Do you know what I mean? Like, did the Conspiracy palette sell the most, or did the James Charles palette sell the most? Obviously, we don't know. And on top of that, too, I do want to say, being that it is from like different brands, low key. Do you know what I mean? Being that Jeffree Star was obviously selling on Jeffree Star Cosmetics, as well as like Beauty Bay and like Beauty Lish, and then also he was selling at Morphe too. And then Morphe obviously has multiple retailers. It's like, how do you track all of these numbers? Who knows them? As to where onto TikTok you can see it right there. When you click on a product, it says X amount sold, you know? Also, by the way, y'all, I am so sorry, but I'm so tired of the TikTok shop. I feel like every single thing is about the TikTok shop. If y'all have seen my TikToks before, I've cracked so many jokes about it because I'm like, damn, like, I get it, get your coin. And on top of that too, I do want to say, like, they do offer really good commissions. There was this one product that I actually have in love, and I was thinking about making a TikTok about it, because I did make a TikTok about it like 2 years ago, literally when there was no such thing as a TikTok shop. I was like, oh my god, I love this product, and so many people ended up buying that because of me, and I had no link or anything, and they have it on the TikTok shop. I was thinking about like doing the video or reposting that video, because this product, for example, I want to say it's like $20. It's like this like tripod thing, and I'm like, yo, that's like $20, and I want to say the commission for it was like $6. I was like, oh, $6? That's pretty damn good. They're offering pretty good commissions over there, so I do understand why everyone's trying to sell everything on TikTok Shop, because they're making good money. Anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get down into the juicy stuff as far as James Charles and Jeffree Star. Before we get into that, though, I do want to talk about this live right here, y'all, that is from Rich Lux. He did post this onto TikTok, and I was like, what's going on here, y'all? Like, Jeffree Star was popping off. If y'all can spill the tea to me, let me know, because I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Like, I don't know why me and my ADD, I just can't sit on TikTok lives. I feel like when I'm on TikTok specifically, I'm just scrolling, and if there's a live, I feel like I'll be on there for like 2 minutes and then I get over it. So I don't really watch lives too much. I feel like Rich Lux, y'all, he be staying on them lives. He has all the screen recordings of them, and I'm like, I just don't have the patience. But it's really weird though, because if I go onto YouTube, I can watch a podcast for 2.5 hours. I don't know. Maybe it's just set up in my brain that I'm like, TikTok is short form and then YouTube is long form. I don't know, but go ahead and check out this video right here.
Keep my name out your mouth, bitch. I'm sick of you fake ass keyboard gangsters. I was throwing up all day yesterday. I opened up my phone and this stupid is running his mouth. Well, you and your drunk wife need to go relax. His wife was in Wyoming, screaming at her daughter, embarrassing herself in the hotel. All because she couldn't go to my Scorpio birthday dinner? Bitch, I don't even know you! I didn't even know her name, and she's trying to gas us up and run her mouth. Alcoholic bitch. These people really got me sick in the head. Yeah, of course he don't want to battle me, because I'll drop it on his head, little boy. And you wonder why your daughter doesn't want to speak to you, little boy. Yeah, exactly. Alcoholic. His wife's a disgrace. And until she apologizes to me, they can both go themselves. Because I'm not the one. I am not the one. Run your gums about today, bitch!
Me?
Keep your fucking name in my mouth.
No, he's talking about somebody else, Anna.
No, I'm talking about top 5 in America. Recycling dumbass motherfucker.
Jeffree, there are some of them so bad with me. I'm so
Baby, this app is full of leeches and vermin.
I was in
Okay?
Just
Everyone,
I was in
listen.
the Live Fest push and they
Anna, no one cares about your live fest push, bitch. Okay?
As y'all can see from right there, y'all, he is popping off. I was like, whoa. I feel like low-key, there are sometimes, obviously, us as humans, we're going to be a little bit more short-fused, and one little thing might set us off. I do feel like that is totally normal. I feel like it's going to happen. But honestly, y'all, if I was Jeffree Star rolling in the dough like that, I'd be like, nobody's gonna get my time and energy. Honestly, like, do not get me wrong. I have popped off on the internet before. I have popped off on haters before. Actually, just like 2 weeks ago, somebody, like, commented talking hardcore trash about me. About, y'all, calling me fat and bald and covering up my fat old head with a beanie. I'm like, You act as if I don't say that about myself every damn time. So literally I popped off on them too. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you want to read me? Let me read you back, especially with a profile picture like that. I totally get it. Sometimes you're just going to pop off. But I just feel like with him, y'all, I'm just like, whoa. First of all, you're rich. Okay. You're rich. You're over there living in Wyoming. Like, why are you getting into it like this? Especially on live too. I don't know. It's just a little bit crazy. I do want to say though, it's just my personal opinion that when like, you know, people see obviously Jeffree Star pop off like this and they see so much aggression and so much anger. And I'm like, y'all, maybe Jeffree Star does have a lot of anger inside of him too. But for some reason, I don't know why, I'm just speaking from my own experience. I feel like it has to do with what I said earlier in the video as to where like, I feel like he just hasn't learned to process his emotions. Sometimes people in life will never learn how to process their emotions, and any little thing is going to make them just snap. And I'm like, y'all, I am so glad that I learned in life how to act, because I do have to say I would have lost every single friend that I have, because y'all, back in the day, I'm just keeping it real, I put myself on blast 24/7 when it comes down to this, because it's the truth. When I used to get into arguments with my friends or my siblings, anything like that, I would go in. I would say any and everything to them. Like, I just didn't know how to say I was hurt or I was bothered. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like Jeffree Star needs to learn how to be like that, because I'm like, this is a little bit too much, especially when we're like approaching our 40s. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I get it every now and then pop off, but I'm starting to see more and more. I'm like, Jeffree's just going in on them lives. Maybe he shouldn't be on live so much, because low-key it seems triggering to him. But speaking of lives, I do want to say right here, he was actually in this little like live group thing right here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have no idea how this like battle stuff works for TikTok. Every time I see people like battling, like, what's the battle? What do you get out of it? It seems like people are really into it and really eager, and I'm like, do you get paid from this? Do you get like more money the more people like tap on the screen or something? Because I'm always hearing people say tap tap tap, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I've never been on TikTok live before, so I'm like, I can't relate to that. But anyways, y'all, somebody had made a comment right here, and then he did throw some shade at James Charles. So go ahead and check this out.
Wrong thick man. Sorry. Wrong person. I know we both start with J, but yeah. The one that likes adults and the one that has the real money is right here. And I actually own my own brand. Taps and roses.
Math dude.
Yeah.
Let's go, math dude.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Doubles. Here we fucking go. And that's on the motherfucking truth. All right, y'all. Doubles. Let's go. What do we got?
Y'all, I'm sorry, but that shade right there has me thinking. I wonder what Jeffree Star knows about James Charles, because he's sitting over there saying like, hi, with the real money, and I have my own brand. I own my own brand. Kind of like alluding to the fact that James Charles doesn't own his own brand. It has me super curious though, because I have heard James Charles say before that he owns his own brand, that he doesn't have any investors. It's not owned by anybody else. Like, as you guys know before, like with like Patrick Star, say for example, Patrick Star only gets a certain commission from sales from his brand because he doesn't own his brand. There's actually a like full-on company that owns his brand, and then he just gets to get like a creative control of it, like get to create the products and the names and stuff like that, and then he gets a commission of sales, but he doesn't own his own brand. And to my understanding, I thought James Charles did own his own brand, so I'm like, what does Jeffree Star know about this? I'm super curious. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. I do have a question for you guys. I literally thought about this before the video, only because I saw this like clip of like James Charles. Oh my god, James Charles always has to show his ass, and I'm so sorry. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see his ass all over the internet. I'm like, I get so triggered by it. But it just had me like thinking. I wanted to ask you guys this question. If you guys had to be stranded on an island with Jeffree Star or James Charles, who would you choose? And don't sit over here and talk about like, oh no, you're gonna swim away or you're gonna like off yourself. No. You have to choose. Which one are you gonna choose? I'm gonna keep it with you guys. I'm gonna go with Jeffree Star. Honestly, although I do feel like, I feel like me and Jeffree Star would get into it. I feel like, y'all, there would be some brawls on that island, but I just couldn't stand like James Charles. He's gonna be walking around in his thong and just like, but you know what though? Jeffree Star does that too. I don't know. Honestly, y'all, I wouldn't want to be on an island with either one of them, but if I had to choose, I would go with Jeffree Star. So let me know who you guys would choose. I literally was curious about that before filming this, because I sent the picture of James Charles in his like little thong on this like little private island to my homegirl, because y'all, she does not like James Charles, and she's like, don't you ever effing send that shit to me again. That's disgusting. And I was like, girl, imagine if you're stranded on an island with him. She was like, hell no, that's literally hell on earth. So I'm curious of what your guys' answer is, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.